To her, it seemed like she had finally found the one. But in reality, it was all a delusion that would shatter her worldview. In matters of the heart, Emma had always proceeded with caution. She had guarded her heart after a traumatic breakup years ago, afraid she would never find someone who could make her feel the same way. But the isolation of her 30s started to get to her, and she started to question whether it was worth it to open up again. The concept of internet dating had always been far away and fantastical to her, even though she had heard of it. Still, she came across a friend's post regarding a dating app one night when she was mindlessly browsing social media. Under the pretense that she was simply trying it out, she joined up. Thus, she crossed paths with Ben. His profile photo depicted a tall, good-looking man with kind, perceptive eyes. "Seeking something genuine, no games," he wrote in his brief but interesting bio. He spoke from the heart, and his smile brought solace. Emma was prepared to give him a chance, despite his seemingly flawless appearance. It was sluggish to begin. Messages here and there, a few lighthearted jokes here and there, but before long the talks turned deeper. Kind, attentive, and encouraging, Ben was a great help. His texts seemed to fill the emptiness in Emma's heart, and she eagerly awaited them. He informed her he was a successful businessman who was often on the go for work, but he still found time to chat with her whenever she needed him. His life appeared to be full of activity. Talking late into the night, they covered a wide range of topics, from their youth to their hopes and fears for the future. Such a bond has never before been felt by Emma. However, she started to have some reservations as time passed. Whenever she proposed meeting in person, Ben would always find an excuse not to, citing work, travel, or scheduling conflicts. She told herself it was simply a matter of bad timing, and that he was really busy, so she ignored her uneasy feeling that something wasn't quite right. Emma began to question whether she was getting to know him for who he really was, as he gave her conflicting and evasive accounts of his life. Yet, she was adamant about not believing it. Ben was the one she had been looking for all along. Emma felt more exposed and vulnerable as her love for him grew stronger. The topics of discussion moved from small talk to passionate proclamations of love. Ben confessed one night, during yet another lengthy phone call. "When we finally meet, Emma, I will be overjoyed. However, I require your assistance with something prior to that occurring." He spoke with a sense of urgency, but she could hear a gentleness that won her over. He needed a little cash to meet an unforeseen business issue, so the request seemed harmless enough at first. Yet, the sum was more the subsequent time around. He said, "Please, Emma, I know I've asked a lot of you, but this is vital. My word is that we will meet shortly. Believe me, you can." The rational side of her begged her to stop, but her emotions begged her to trust him nevertheless. Something was off, according to Emma's gut, but she disregarded her intuition. The thought of losing Ben, who had become her entire universe, was intolerable. Reminding herself that the cost of their love was little in comparison, she consented to transfer the money. However, that was merely the first step. In the weeks that followed, both the frequency and cost of Ben's requests increased. His firm was failing, and he was once again unable to make ends meet. Therefore, he needed money for what he thought was an emergency. Despite his repeated assurances that this would be the last, Emma continued to send more and more. Telling herself it would be worth it, and that they will be together soon, she delved into her money. Ben would send her sincere messages, assuring her that their love was genuine, and that they will meet in person soon, whenever she doubted it. People she was close to began to sense a shift in her. Guilt and optimism cast a pall over her previously lively and guarded nature. Lily, her best friend, took her aside one night. "Emma, I just don't get the vibe from this guy. He has never even met you, yet he is already requesting money. It is imperative that you exercise caution. What a con job." Emma was taken aback. "Lily, you have no idea. Ben stands out. We are on to something genuine. Lily attempted to push the issue further, but her heart had been broken and her money taken. Khalid al-Farouk, an infamous member of a global scam ring that ran under the guise of a bigger pig-butchering enterprise, was the cybercriminal behind Ben. Khalid was involved in a ring that preyed on victims' romantic interests to trick them into financial frauds. Using false identities and made-up tales, he conducted an international operation to emotionally influence people. The con artist has avoided ever physically meeting any of his victims. With the help of his collaborators, he would pose as a real person, send out fraudulent messages, and steal money from anyone who fell for his con. Even though Emma's situation was just one among many, the media paid attention to her narrative. As the investigation against Khalid progressed, authorities discovered a disturbing web of con artists using identical schemes. A trail of unregistered accounts in foreign banks led them to Khalid, and they found millions of cash that victims like Emma had sent him. In a sting operation, agents entered the scam network and apprehended Khalid. While apprehending Khalid, officials uncovered evidence of his collaboration with a global ring engaged in online deceit and financial fraud. As part of their activities, hundreds of hackers and con artists exploited vulnerabilities in online platforms to prey on unsuspecting people all over the world. As Khalid's deeds were laid bare in court, his trial became a public spectacle. His use of complex technologies to imitate Ben, sending victims carefully worded communications and establishing a phony emotional connection, was demonstrated throughout his trial. During his sentencing, the prosecutor brought attention to the mental and financial harm that these crimes had caused, stressing that similar scams were spreading over the world. During the trial, Khalid revealed parts of his fragility, which startled many. "I never meant to hurt anyone," he said, admitting his part in the scheme in an unusually reflective moment. "All it took was for me to become preoccupied with the money." Still, his confession didn't alter the reality that he had robbed innumerable others, causing irreparable harm and ruining their lives. The charges against Khalid included conspiracy, identity theft, and wire fraud. His crimes damaged the very foundation of trust in online interactions, the sentencing judge made plain, and he received a 15-year prison term, regardless of the extent to which they affected Emma. With the knowledge that justice had been served, and the realization that the dishonesty he had inflicted on her life still fresh in her mind, Emma felt a mix of emotions as she watched Khalid carried away in handcuffs. After that, Emma tried to get part of her money back through the courts, but by then, it was all gone. She went on to become an advocate by speaking out against digital lies and educating others on how to avoid falling victim to frauds like hers via public speaking, online platforms, and her blog. Although Emma's wounds would never fully heal, she had started the process of getting better. A lesson she had to learn the hard way. Love isn't always what it seems, and that even the most beautiful smiles can conceal hidden deceit.